tonight, we look at something you use every day but rarely see: semiconductors or computer chips. These tiny brains power everything from your phone and car to hospital equipment and the systems that keep our lights on. They're the invisible engines driving our economy and daily lives. Imagine a day without them. No alarms, no coffee makers, no working computers, and chaos on the roads. Our reliance on these chips is total. Their absence would paralyze society. This isn't science fiction. It's a stark reminder of how deeply semiconductors are woven into our world. Ensuring a steady supply is now a matter of national security. That's why policymakers in Washington are sounding the alarm. The US once led the world in both designing and making chips. But in pursuit of lower costs, companies moved manufacturing overseas, especially to Asia. The result? A fragile supply chain, exposed by the recent global chip shortage that halted car production and drove up prices for electronics. A disruption in just a few foreign factories can cripple entire sectors of the American economy. Now, Washington is determined to bring chip manufacturing back home. The Trump administration is considering a bold new rule for every chip imported. Companies must ensure one is made in the US. This one-to-one production mandate would force companies to invest in American manufacturing if they want to sell here. It applies to both chip designers and electronics giants, making everyone in the supply chain responsible. The goal is to move beyond incentives and create a firm requirement for domestic production. It's a major shift from free market principles, aiming to rebuild America's industrial base in this critical sector. The administration believes the long-term security benefits outweigh any short-term disruptions. The message: the era of unchecked outsourcing for vital components is ending. To enforce the one-to-one mandate, the government is introducing a bold new approach, using tariffs as a penalty for companies that fail to comply. This policy is designed to ensure that for every chip imported, an equivalent number is produced domestically, creating a direct link between foreign supply and American manufacturing. By leveraging tariffs, the government aims to shift the balance, making it less profitable to rely on overseas production and more appealing to invest in the U.S. economy. If a company imports more chips than it produces in the U.S., those extra imports are no longer just a business expense. They're now subject to steep tariffs that can dramatically increase costs. This means that companies who continue to prioritize imports over domestic production will face significant financial consequences, making the old way of doing business much less attractive. As a result, investing in American factories, hiring local workers, and building advanced manufacturing capabilities becomes a far smarter move than simply paying the penalty. The policy is crafted to encourage companies to think long-term, focusing on sustainable growth and innovation within the U.S. borders. Earlier, the government announced a 100% tariff on chip imports, but with a crucial exception: companies that manufacture chips in the U.S. are exempt. This sent a clear message to the industry: those who invest in America will be rewarded, while those who don't will pay a hefty price. Now, the new rule sets an even clearer target. Companies must match their imports with domestic production, or face the financial consequences. This creates a transparent, measurable goal for every business in the sector, making it easier to plan investments and production strategies. For companies, the choice is straightforward: either invest in U.S. production and benefit from a stable, tariff-free supply chain, or continue to rely on imports and watch costs soar. The government isn't dictating what products to make or how to run a business, but it is fundamentally changing the financial equation. By shifting the cost-benefit analysis, the policy nudges companies toward decisions that support domestic growth. It's a market-driven approach, using economic incentives rather than direct mandates to shape the future of American industry. The threat of tariffs is designed to spark a wave of private investment in American chipmaking. Investors, entrepreneurs, and manufacturers are now looking at the U.S. as a prime location for new facilities, research, and development. Ultimately, this policy is more than just a penalty. It's a powerful lever for industrial renewal, aiming to revitalize American manufacturing, create jobs, and secure the nation's technological future. Bringing chip manufacturing back to the U.S. is a massive challenge. The semiconductor industry has long been dominated by countries in Asia, where production costs are lower and supply chains are well established. This dominance has created a significant hurdle for the U.S. as it attempts to re-establish its own manufacturing capabilities. Building a single advanced fab can cost $20 billion or more, requiring specialized equipment and skilled workers. The complexity of these facilities means that every detail must be meticulously planned and executed, from the cleanroom environments to the advanced machinery that produces the chips. Replicating Asia's scale would take hundreds of billions in investment. The sheer size and efficiency of these Asian manufacturing hubs have been built over decades, making it a monumental task for the U.S. to catch up. Labor and operational costs are higher here, and the supply chain for materials is still centered overseas. This means that even if the U.S. builds new fabs, it will still rely heavily on foreign suppliers for critical components and raw materials. New fabs take years to build and calibrate, so meeting the one-to-one mandate quickly could create bottlenecks and shortages. The process of constructing these facilities is not only time-consuming, but also fraught with potential delays and technical challenges. There's also a talent gap. Decades of outsourcing mean fewer Americans have the skills to run these facilities. The expertise required to operate and maintain advanced semiconductor fabs is highly specialized, and the current workforce is not adequately prepared. The U.S. must invest in training programs to build a workforce for this industry. Educational institutions and companies need to collaborate to create robust training programs that can quickly upskill workers and prepare them for the demands of semiconductor manufacturing. Without enough skilled workers, even the best factories can't run efficiently. The success of these new fabs will depend heavily on the availability of a well-trained and capable workforce. The path to reshoring is long, expensive, and complex. It involves not just building new facilities, but also creating an entire ecosystem that supports semiconductor manufacturing from supply chains to workforce development. But it's essential for national security and economic resilience. Ensuring that the U.S. has a robust and self-sufficient semiconductor industry is crucial for maintaining technological leadership and safeguarding against global supply chain disruptions. In the heart of the Arizona desert, TSMC, the world's leading chipmaker, has embarked on an ambitious journey, constructing a massive new semiconductor fabrication plant. This isn't just another factory. It's a bold bet on the future of American technology and manufacturing. The scale of the project is staggering, with billions of dollars invested and a sprawling campus rising from the sand, signaling a new era for the U.S. tech industry. This facility marks one of the largest foreign investments in U.S. history, drawing attention from government officials, business leaders, and tech enthusiasts around the world. The partnership between TSMC and the United States is seen as a strategic move to strengthen the domestic supply chain and reduce reliance on overseas chip production. The first phase of the plant began production in 2024, a significant milestone that demonstrates advanced chipmaking can indeed return to American soil after decades of offshoring. The facility is equipped with state-of-the-art technology, rivaling the most advanced fabs in the world. This achievement is more than symbolic. It's a tangible step toward revitalizing U.S. manufacturing and innovation. The American flag flying outside the plant is a powerful reminder of the nation's renewed commitment to technological leadership. The project has already created thousands of jobs, from construction workers building the facility to engineers and technicians operating the cutting-edge equipment inside. Local communities are seeing new opportunities, and the region is quickly becoming a hub for high-tech talent. Beyond employment, TSMC's presence has brought world-class technology and expertise to Arizona, fostering innovation and knowledge transfer that will benefit the U.S. semiconductor ecosystem for years to come. Yet, even with this progress, the Arizona plant represents only a small fraction of TSMC's vast global output. The company's main operations remain in Taiwan, and the scale of U.S. production is still limited compared to Asia's semiconductor giants. To truly compete on the world stage, the U.S. will need many more factories, not just from TSMC, but also from Intel, Samsung, and other industry leaders. Building a robust domestic chip industry is a long-term challenge that requires massive investment and coordination. TSMC has already faced significant hurdles, including delays in construction and a shortage of skilled workers. Recruiting and training the specialized workforce needed for advanced chip making has proven more difficult than anticipated. These challenges highlight the complexities of reshoring such a sophisticated industry. From supply chain bottlenecks to cultural differences in management, the path forward is anything but straightforward. Still, the Arizona experience offers a glimpse of what's possible. It shows both the promise of a revitalized U.S. chip industry and the obstacles that must be overcome to achieve it. The journey is filled with both triumphs and setbacks, as workers and managers alike adapt to new challenges and strive to keep the project on track. The Arizona fab stands as a beacon of hope for American manufacturing, a symbol of what can be achieved through determination, innovation, and global collaboration. But it's also a reminder that the road ahead will require relentless effort, smart planning, and a willingness to learn from setbacks. Ultimately, success will depend on careful management of construction, logistics, and workforce development, ensuring that America's chip-making ambitions become a sustainable reality for generations to come. The new policy would ripple from boardrooms to living rooms. Tech giants like Apple and Dell would need to invest in U.S. manufacturing or face tariffs, reshaping supply chains and sparking new partnerships. For American chipmakers, it's a huge opportunity. Guaranteed demand could drive factory construction and create thousands of high-paying jobs. But for consumers, higher U.S. production costs may mean pricier gadgets and cars, at least in the short term. Temporary shortages or delays could occur as new factories ramp up. The administration is betting that these short-term costs are worth the long-term gains in security and stability. The goal: a more resilient economy and reliable access to technology. The effects will be felt in product prices and in the strength of the national economy. The debate comes down to this: what's the right price for security? Outsourcing brought cheap, abundant tech, but also left us vulnerable. The new policy prioritizes resilience over efficiency, arguing that the risks of dependency are too great. Critics warn that higher costs could hurt U.S. competitiveness and raise prices for consumers worldwide. Supporters say relying on unstable regions for critical chips is a strategic mistake. For them, higher prices are a small price for national security and control over vital technology. This isn't just about military hardware, it's about the systems that run our daily lives. Ensuring a secure domestic chip supply is like buying insurance. It has a premium, but the risks of going without are far greater. The real question is how much we're willing to pay for peace of mind. The one-to-one mandate is a turning point for America. It's a direct effort to reverse decades of outsourcing and reclaim a critical industry. The stakes are high costs, challenges, and short-term disruptions are real. But the rewards, jobs, innovation, and security are just as significant. Real-world projects like TSMC's Arizona fab show this vision is possible with the right support. The policy forces companies to invest in America's future if they want access to its market. The nation that leads in chip production will shape the technologies of tomorrow. The decisions made now will define America's prosperity and security for generations.